Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be a new beauty battle. If you are new to my beauty battle series, this is where I put two products that are really similar to each other head to head. I talk about the pros and cons, and then I share which product I would recommend to get. Like if you only want to purchase one of these, which one am I going to recommend to you? We have some doozies in here, including some Dethroned makeup products. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, welcome. So I do start my videos with an outfit of the day. This is like my go-to summer outfit at the moment. I've probably worn this in a video recently too, but it is just this skirt from Amazon, and then also this top also from Amazon. So are my heels. I literally am just like living in this outfit. It's super comfortable. It's like cute yet casual. Can't stop wearing it. So I will link my outfits down below. Also any of my makeup details I will also link in my description box. I do have to apologize. For some reason my AC won't turn off. I don't know what's going on. I usually turn my air conditioning off when I'm filming because it's quite loud, and when I first moved into this apartment I got a ton of comments saying that you could hear my air conditioner in the background. But I don't know if it's just because it's so hot outside. My AC is like, no. That's cute. We're not turning off. It's like 112 degrees in Las Vegas. So we will just have to deal with the noise, but I've just been sitting here waiting for it to turn off and it's not going to. Like I said, my beauty battle series, it's been a minute since I posted one of these. So I have 5 different categories that we are going to run through, and I'm really excited to do this. So I have been testing out some new mascaras recently, and that's what we're gonna start with first. I love trying out mascaras. I don't wear false lashes very often, and I prefer to just wear a really good mascara. To me, I want it to make my lashes look longer and fuller and darker, but I definitely also want it to be very long wearing, not smudging on me, not making me look like I have raccoon eyes. Again, I live in a very hot climate. I sweat a lot out here. I don't want my mascara all over my face by the end of the day. So I love testing out mascaras. The ones that we're gonna be comparing today is from One Size, and this is their Size Mascara. And then I also have one from LYS Beauty, and this is their Lash Confidence Mascara. So the LYS I did receive in PR, and this one retails for $19. The One Size, I grabbed a mini as a 100 point perk in my last Sephora haul, but the full size runs for $25. So I did want to compare the full size prices on these. So first of all, when it comes to packaging, I really do have to give it to LYS for this one. I think the beautiful pink kind of like triangular packaging is definitely their vibe. And then for the mascara one, you can see that it has a bit of a curve. This one to me is definitely more of a wet formula. Even the first time that I pulled it out, I could just tell that it was going to be a little bit more of that wet formula, which I typically tend to prefer more of a dry mascara formula. I just feel like it's less prone to smudge as quickly. Sometimes when I'm applying a mascara, I can kind of, even if I just like blink my lashes together too quickly or too firmly, I can get a little bit of transfer. Again, that's really easy to clean up. I don't consider that as part of like the smudging category because it's really easy to clean up, and I mean half the time I'm like poking myself in the eye anyway. It definitely makes the lashes very dark. It makes them longer. It makes them fuller. I think that this is a beautiful mascara, and I love that it's $19. I don't think that that's a bad price. LYS, they are available at Sephora, and I think they have a great price point on a lot of their products. You're actually gonna see them again in this video. But then to compare that to the One Size Fantasize, I added this as a 100 point perk just because I've been hearing so many people talk about how much they love this mascara, and I was like, okay, I need to check this one out. And this one, the full size, like I said, retails for $25. So this one, you know, pretty like standard packaging. I mean, it's fun, it's red. Again, that's kind of the One Size branding. And this one here, the wand doesn't have any sort of curve to it, but if you can tell, it's a little bit more of like that spiky, like the spiky bristles on here. This is gonna be more of your dry formula. I think that this one does a really good job of like hugging the lashes and really being able to comb through them. Again, with this one, it makes my lashes long, full, dark. I think both of these are amazing options. I love that the LYS is gonna be a little bit more on the affordable size, but for this particular beauty battle, I am gonna have to give it to the One Size. Again, both are gonna be great options, but if you're like, I only wanna try one new mascara right now, I'm gonna recommend the One Size. This to me, with the LYS, I feel like I can get just a little bit more like smudging and transfer after several hours of wear. It's not going to be one that within the hour I have mascara on me. So this has an excellent wear time. But again, I just feel like with this really wet formula that it has, it's so beautiful on the lashes, but it can just be a little bit messier to apply. Whereas the one size is super easy. I don't find I have as much cleanup. This also stays and stays and stays. I'm trying to remember the first time I wore this. I want to say maybe I went to the, was it the Las Vegas, the Stanley Cup championship game? I went to game 1 that was in Las Vegas, and I had my mascara, my makeup on all day, all night. It was a really exciting game. I'm like cheering, I'm around so many people, and my mascara has held up beautifully. So this is one that I keep reaching for. I will be repurchasing a full size of this one because I'm gonna go through the mini pretty quickly, but I'm super happy that I got it as the 100-point perk. I was able to test it out. Now I know that I do want to buy a full size of it because I think that it just makes the lashes so beautiful, and I love that it has no transfer. So the full size is going to be a few extra dollars, so maybe if you're a little bit more conscious of the price, I still think you're going to get a great option for the LYS, but for me personally, my preferences when it comes to mascara, I'm going to suggest the one size. It wouldn't be a summer Samantha summer video without talking about some SPF. I have 2 new SPFs here that I wanted to share with you, give my thoughts on, and of course tell you which one I would prefer. So we have from the Inkey List, this is the Polyglutamic Acid Dewy Sunscreen SPF 30. I was super intrigued by this. And then we also have the Good Molecules Sheer Mineral Sunscreen SPF 30. Okay, so the Inkey List, this is going to retail for $14.99. The Inkey List you can also find at Sephora, and again, I think they have really great price points, like $15 for this sunscreen, which is 1.7 ounces. So has 8% hydration trio of polyglutamic acid, glycerin, and squalene. A lightweight cream to protect the skin while priming for makeup, and it's a non-pilling formula suitable for all skin tones with no white cast. For the Good Molecules, this is going to retail for $12, so these are going to be really similar in price point. And this one is also 1.7 ounces. So again, price points really similar. Good Molecules you can also find at Ulta Beauty. 13.3% zinc oxide. There's also grapeseed oil, Takuma seed butter, and hyaluronic acid, antioxidants to help protect the skin from free radicals. So kind of both along the same lines with, it's an SPF, but it does also have skincare ingredients. Now, squalene happens to be one of my favorite skincare ingredients. I have squalene oils. I like to look for products that have squalene in it because I've noticed over the years in my own personal skincare journey, that's just something my skin really enjoys. Hyaluronic acid is another great skincare ingredient. It's one that I use almost every single morning. I do have dry skin, so hyaluronic acid is really good for keeping the skin nice and hydrated as well. So when I got these, I was really excited for them both because I really like the Inkey List and I really like Good Molecules. I love SPF and I love trying out SPFs. So I did start trying out the Inkey List first, and with this one, what I noticed from the first time I put it on is that it gives you that my skin but better type of look. I do agree there is no white cast. It blends in super easily to the skin. I've had no issues with pilling when I go to put makeup on over sunscreen. Like, I reapply my sunscreen all throughout the day. Like, I put it on in the morning and then I'm constantly reapplying. So even before I did my makeup today, I put my sunscreen on maybe like 30 minutes before, and then I sat down to do my makeup. No issues with pilling, which is really important to me for sure. Love that you don't have the white cast. Love that it's super easy to blend. But again, it's not that it makes me overly dewy. It doesn't, you know, it's sheer. It's not going to give you any sort of coverage. It's not going to give you any sort of tint like the Ilia Beauty that I love so much. It looks like your skin all of a sudden got more hydrated. And I kept staring at myself the first time I put it on because I'm like, what am I trying to say? You know, because immediately my mind goes to like, how do I review this? How do I show this? And I'm like, I'm not dewy, I'm not glowy. I just look like I drank a ton of water. That's how I look when I put on this one from the Inkey List, and I think that it looks really beautiful. I'm very much into no makeup type of looks, and this is gorgeous for that. If I want to put this on and a little bit of concealer, like, I know my skin is going to be looking so nice. Or even if I don't even want to do any concealer, like I'm just going to the pool, this is going to give me SPF protection, but then also just make my skin look really good. The one from Good Molecules I also think looks really pretty on the skin. This is one where I feel like it still blends in very easily. I don't think it's quite as smooth as the one from Inkey List. Like I just have to take a little bit of a longer time. I wouldn't say there's like a white cast with it, but it's still, just because it takes me a little bit longer, I'm really trying to make sure I'm getting it all blended in just so I don't have that white cast. I don't have an issue with pilling with this one, which I'm very grateful for. I'll have some more SPFs coming up in review videos, and there's one that's just been like such a gigantic miss because it's like pilling and weird, just all these things. But the Good Molecules I still think is really beautiful on the skin. I just don't think it gives me that like fresh face, I drank a bunch of water type of look. I still think it's nice, but for this beauty battle, I definitely do have to give it to the Inkey List. And it's funny because even just holding them in my hands, I can tell the Inkey List I'm like about out of, and the Good Molecules, like I still have a decent amount of product left in here. I've also noticed with the Good Molecules, you really do want to shake it up before you use it. There's been a few times where I go to put some in my hands and it's just kind of like that kind of like oiliness that comes out, and I'm like, ah, shoot. And then so then I have to come back and make sure that I shake it up, where I don't notice that one with the Inkey List. And I think these are both great options. I recommend SPF just in general. You know, even though I prefer the Inkey List on my face, I actually use the Good Molecules a lot for my neck and for my hands, because for the Inkey List, when I find something that I really love for my face that doesn't break my skin out, that kind of gives you those other benefits of like your skin but better, I don't want to like waste it on other parts of my body, but then also my other parts of my body need sunscreen as well. So if I have sunscreens that I don't think are good for my face, I make sure that I'm using them in other areas so I am fully protected from the sun. So that's what I've been doing with the Good Molecules. But again, great options, great price points for each, but this one is gonna go to the Inkey List. So I wasn't planning on putting concealers in this video, but I got a comment the other day asking if I would compare the LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage Brightening Concealer to the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. So the LYS, this has been a favorite of mine since whenever it came out. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a long time. This has been one of my top concealers, one that I wear so often. I don't know if you can see, I have like a little line on the side here, but it's because I am scraping. Like when I hold this up to the light, I can tell from looking in the tube here, I do not have much left of this concealer, and that is pretty shocking to me because I don't go through makeup products very quickly. I have a large collection. I'm trying new makeup all of the time. It's pretty rare for me to go through products, especially something like a concealer. So this really speaks volumes to me of how much I love this one from LYS. This one retails for $19. Again, great price point. I use the shade MN1, which is a beautiful shade match for me, and you get 0.18 fluid ounces. Now the Natasha Denona is a little bit more expensive. This one is going to retail for $30. I do have a discount code with Natasha Denona for 15% off the website, and that code is Samantha. So that knocks a few dollars off to get it a little bit closer to the LYS. So just wanted to mention that because usually I try to make these, like I'm not trying to do like a dupes video with these. I try to make them pretty similar and then just give you the option that I like a little bit more. And then for the High Glam Concealer, this has 0.236. So you do also get a little bit more product than the Natasha Denona for those extra dollars that you will be spending. And I have the shade N4. Again, these concealers, if you are close to me shade match wise, these shade match, they're just beautiful. They are just spot on, and I'm really quite happy with it. I did purchase both of these myself, and I was just guessing at my shades online, so I'm pretty happy that I guessed right. I purchased both of these from the Sephora website as well. Again, LYS kind of has their like triangular packaging. I thought the Natasha Denona looked like really nice packaging as well. Both of these are so good, and I don't think that you can go wrong. Again, if you are looking for something with a little bit of a less expensive price point, I highly recommend the one from LYS. It gives you beautiful coverage. It says it's a full coverage concealer, and I agree with that, but it doesn't have the full coverage feel. It doesn't feel heavy. It's not hard to blend out. Like something that I say about this concealer is that it is super blendable, and sometimes I notice with more of a full coverage concealer, it just feels like I'm there for a long time. Then it feels like I have a lot of makeup on my under eyes, especially. It just doesn't look natural, and this is like a your skin but better, and I do think that it also gives you that brightening effect as well. This is gorgeous. Like I said, I'm gonna go through this entire concealer, and I will repurchase it again because it's beautiful. I love the price point on it. the one from Natasha Denona. So it's funny because when I was asked that in my comment section which one would I would prefer, I had just purchased the Natasha Denona. I tried it like maybe 2 or 3 times, and I was like, as of right now, I'm gonna say the one from LYS because I just started trying this one from Natasha, and to me, I don't like to say that like I'm like knocking off favorites for something that I've tried once or twice. Like the LYS has been with me for, you know, at least a year or whatever it's been. It's like tried and true. It's been with me through vacations. It's been with me through, you know, all-nighters. It's been with me through tears. It's been with me, okay? So how could I really say like, oh no, now I'm just gonna give it to the Natasha Denona when I've just worn it a couple of times for videos, right? So as I've been planning to do this beauty battle, I'm like, keep wearing the Natasha, keep wearing the Natasha. I want to be able to put it in here. But then at a certain point, it was like, I'm just going to keep wearing the Natasha because I love it so much. So this says it is a brightening, brightening and hydrating crease-proof serum concealer. So this one is going to have more of this lightweight feel than the one from LYS. It's a little bit more on the liquidy side, but again, this is so blendable. It's one of those concealers that you just put it on and like tap it, and then it's just like poof, like it does the work itself. And I think that it's gorgeous. Both of these concealers I can wear on my face to spot conceal, and I can also wear on my under eyes, and both have brightening properties. For this one though, I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to give it to Natasha Denona, and that really surprises me because when I first thought to do this, I still continued to think I was gonna give it to the LYS. Again, great price point on this. I highly recommend it, but something about the Natasha Denona just instantly like poof to my skin. Like, it's so beautiful. I have been foregoing foundation once again because of this concealer. I can wear this instead of foundation as well and just do a little bit of powder, but something about the Natasha Denona, it almost looks like I'm wearing a foundation again. I get so many compliments on my skin when I just wear this and a powder that you will see coming up very shortly here. And it's just beautiful. It stays all day. Like it says for the under eyes, it's not gonna crease. It's so beautiful, and I just want to keep recommending it to everybody. So again, 2 concealers that I really love, that I wear all the time, that are like foolproof for me. But if I only have to recommend one, I'm gonna give it to Natasha. We do have another beauty battle featuring Natasha Denona, one of my favorite brands, but I really wanted to put these eyeshadow palettes in here because I was actually debating on if I was gonna purchase the Natasha Denona because I already had the Oden's Eye Stone and Rock palette. I did end up purchasing the Natasha Denona Yucca, but I thought these palettes were really similar to one another, and so I wasn't sure that I would need both. 2023, I have been doing a low buy. I've been trying not to purchase as much makeup, keep as much makeup, like keep as much PR and all of that. But again, Natasha Denona is just one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and go for it. So we have the Oden's Eye Stone and Rock palette. This retails for around $40. And then we do have the Natasha Denona, which is $69. So again, a little bit more of a price difference in here. I do have affiliate codes actually with both. Like I said, for Natasha Denona, it's Samantha. Also for Oden's Eye, it is once again going to be Samantha. So like I've said, Natasha Denona, one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas. I get so many of her palettes, even ones that I don't think I'm really going to love or use a ton, because I'm just like, well, let me just like check it out. Like her formula just does it for me, okay? But also Oden's Eye. In the last couple of years here, Oden's Eye has really impressed me with their eyeshadow formula. They are an indie brand out of Sweden, and they just come up with some excellent collections, some excellent eyeshadow palettes in particular. And this one in Stone and Rock is also so beautiful. There's been a handful of Oden's Eye palettes that you see recommended in my videos over and over again because their formula is just amazing. So again, these are not identical palettes. I wouldn't even say they're like dupe palettes, but they're similar, right? They're on the same vein. Natasha Denona, you have mattes, you have some shimmers, and then she does have some cream to powder shadows as well. And then in the Oden's Eye, again, matte shimmers, you have some of the beautiful, what are they, like multi-chrome, duochrome shadows in here. And it's gorgeous as well. I will say that when it comes to the Natasha Denona formula, I usually lean towards it because, and for the palettes, because I'm a little bit more on the simpler side. I mean, I have 2 eyeshadows shades on my eyes right now. I usually don't need a ton of colorful makeup. I usually don't need really over-the-top shimmers, multi-chromes, duochromes, glitters. It's just not my personal makeup style, but every once in a while it's fun to do things out of my comfort zone. And I was really intrigued when Oden's Eye came out with this collection here, because I felt like both of the palettes in this particular collection were a little bit more on the neutral side, where Oden's Eye is typically quite colorful. On the flip side, I thought it was interesting for Natasha Denona to come out with the Yucca palette, because she usually is a lot more neutral and toned down palettes, if you will. And when she was coming out with the Yucca, I was like, oh, that's a little bit different for Natasha Denona. Again, I think that both these palettes are really nice quality. I would recommend them both, but to me there was a clear winner, and it's Oden's Eye. And some of you might be surprised because I talk about my love for Natasha Denona so much and her eyeshadow formula, but also I've done a video of 3 looks with this palette. I did a palette bingo for my members exclusive video for June, and I've talked about this palette in other videos, and I've said I just feel like I'm kind of getting the same looks over and over again. It feels a little bit repetitive to me. And at $69, you know, I want something that if I'm gonna keep getting the same looks, I'd rather just have a 5-pan palette and be like, I know what I'm getting every single time, and pay a fraction of the price. Versus the one from Oden's Eye, I just feel like there's more variety in here, there's more that you can do, and especially with some of like the shimmer formulas, there's just so many more looks that you can do. I feel like the looks that I've done with the Natasha Denona, I can also do with the Oden's Eye, and I don't feel it vice versa. I don't feel like looks that I do with Oden's Eye, I can do with the Natasha Denona Yucca palette. So I think the price point is better on this one. Again, I still like the Natasha Denona formula better. It's still my top eyeshadow formula right now, but Oden's Eye is seriously right up there, like 2, 3, 4 for the eyeshadow palette formula. But you're gonna get more looks and more variety with this one, so might be a little bit of a surprise, but I'm giving it to the Oden's Eye. And finally, we have come to the Dethroned section of this video. I thought about doing a separate video just all on Dethroned makeup, but honestly I didn't feel like I had enough to include in there, so I thought I would put this in the beauty battle because it's kind of similar as well. These are 2 really similar products, similar price points, but one of them is just Dethroned. So if you've been around my channel for a minute, you probably know what I'm talking about. When I show these products, you'll probably know which one the winner is as I'm saying Dethroned. But for the last segment, we are going to be comparing the Dior Powder No Powder and the Lawless Beauty Perfecting Powder. So the Dior Powder No Powder, this retails for $45. I used the shade 3N all over my face. This is 0.38 ounces. For the Lawless Beauty, this one is 0.33 ounces, so a little bit less product in here, and this retails for $39. So just a few, dollars of a price difference here, a little bit of a product size difference as well. The Dior, I have purchased multiple times. I think I've probably purchased at least 10 of these at this point. I've panned another one. Again, 3N I use all over my face. 2N I have purchased as well, and I use it on my under eyes. From Lawless Beauty, I was sent this one in PR, and I use the shade Light Medium. I just did a video recently on all the makeup products that I have hit pan in my collection, and I featured the Lawless Beauty, and the pan is just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger because I use it every single day. So for the Dior, we go way back. I have been using the Powder No Powder for years. I discovered my love for it, I believe right before I moved to Las Vegas, or right around the time I was moving to Las Vegas, which was in April of 2021. So I have had this for a long time. Again, it's been with me through a lot. I've repurchased it multiple times. And then for the Lawless Beauty, this is a little bit newer product to them. So it's a little bit newer of a product to me, but it is one that I feel very confident in saying has dethroned my Dior. Really, since I got the Lawless and I started trying this one, I have not gone back to the Dior Powder No Powder. I've talked about it in a few videos as well, but one of the main reasons being is that I feel like with the Dior, it's just a little bit of a heavier powder. It's nothing too much. It's nothing that makes me uncomfortable or makes me feel like my skin is suffocating. But I notice when I wear it, it really kind of gives you like a whoosh filter to the skin, which is beautiful. When I first found this powder, I was really going through it with my acne journey. I was just coming off of fertility treatments, which wrecked my skin, my hair, my marriage, my everything. And I was also getting divorced. I had so much stress. I was moving across the country. I had a lot going on with my skincare game. So when I wore this one from Dior and it truly like put a filter over my face, it just like felt incredible, and it gave me so much confidence. And I was going through compact after compact after compact because I felt like I needed that boost of confidence. You know, it was like a scary time in my life. So the Dior Powder No Powder I will always be grateful for the memories and for getting me through some of the hard times for sure. But once I started trying the Lawless, I still really feel like I get that effect. I feel like I get just like a soft matte filter. Like the Dior, if you are on TikTok and you've seen like the bold glamour filter, that's like what the Dior is. It like really, it's there. It like changes your skin. The Lawless is like the, what's it called? Like the gentle glow filter, where it's just like, it's like your skin, but like a little bit better. That's how I would compare these. Like one is much more obvious, one is much more natural. And again, I just happen to be a my skin but better type of girl, the no makeup, the just like lighter coverage and all of that. So once I started trying the Lawless and I was like, wait, I'm getting really similar effects to the Dior, but it doesn't feel as heavy. Like, especially for the Dior too, I feel like it's very obvious if you miss a spot. And I think that's how I can tell that it is a little bit heavier, because like, say the Dior would be one that I would really have to make sure that I did my neck as well. Otherwise it would be such a obvious difference, and not even shade tone wise, because I thought that for a while that maybe the 3N was like too dark, but even the 2N, you can tell a clear difference between my face and my neck when I'm wearing it, because it changes the skin that much. I mean, I was even like putting the Dior on my chest because I was like, I am not matching like if I'm wearing a tank top. Versus with the Lawless Beauty, I can just put some of the powder on my face and I'm good to go. I usually bring some down onto my neck as well, but it's not such an obvious like stark contrast between the two. So I just feel like the Lawless is more comfortable. You have to use less product and it's gonna be a little bit more natural on the skin. I think that this is beautiful. The light medium is a great shade match for me. Again, I still really appreciate the Dior and everything that it did for me, but it is very much dethroned. I'm going to be repurchasing the one from Lawless Beauty. I actually panic bought 3 Dior Powder No Powders when they said that they were going to be discontinuing and reformulating them. And I actually sold all of them on my Poshmark just a couple of weeks ago. You guys snapped them up right away, which made me really happy. I'm glad they're going to new homes. They were never used, never opened or anything like that. But I just really felt like once I finished with this powder, which I still will try to finish it up, I don't feel the need to bring it back into my collection when I have this one from Lawless. And again, this is what I wear every single day with concealer. Even if I'm just doing like a little bit of sunscreen and I want my skin to feel like a little smoothed out and blurred, I'll go into the Lawless. It's beautiful. Honestly, I never thought the day would come. I never thought the day would come that the Dior Powder No Powder would get dethroned. There was a point in time where you could Google my name and after divorce popped up the Dior Powder No Powder, and I was like, wow, like we are really one with each other. But once I started trying the Lawless, I was like, my Dior is definitely in danger here, and I'm here to say it's officially been dethroned. So obviously my beauty battle, I'm picking the one from Lawless Beauty if I did not say that. But after that, that is everything for my latest beauty battle. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you found it helpful. I'd love to know, have you tried any of these products or will you be picking them up? Do you agree or disagree with any of my choices? Again, it's all makeup, it's all for fun. And again, I just hope that you enjoyed this video. So if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope you also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. All right, this is our check on Aries. So she's just been under my desk the whole time. Yeah, you're doing okay, aren't you? Oh, she's very sleepy. Aries has just been helping me out. She's feeling a little tired these days from her new chemo, so she didn't join me in the back of my video on my chair, but she was with us here the whole time listening to me talk over these makeup products and which one. Do you agree with all my choices, girl? Do you disagree with any of them? Oh, we'll have to have this conversation later.